Okay. I'm like nervous because I don't know exactly like what I want to say. I mean, I do, but it's like getting everything together and just like calming down. I gotta calm down. We're gonna actually try now. We're gonna get this done because I want to, not because I have to. First 10 minutes of this video is just gonna be telling me, it's gonna be like me telling myself that I can make a video. All right, hi. I don't know how to start this video. It's been a long time since I've been on YouTube. It's like the last video that I posted on here was like a shop update, and like the one before that was like a vlog that I made. I've had a really hard time getting myself to make this video. Like, I've wanted to make this video for so long. It's like something talking about like why I stopped making YouTube videos. I feel like I just kind of like disappeared from here. And I know I've said like, you know, I want to get back into making videos like so many times on like different platforms. Like, I'm pretty sure in like one of my last videos I talked about making videos again, and then I just kind of didn't. Yeah, so it's like I've had a really hard time like getting this video actually like made, even though I've wanted to make it for a very long time. It's like I have like other things that I've written, like I've had so many things that I've wanted to talk about. You know, I wrote a lot of like blog post kind of things and posted those on Patreon that are great for like, you know, I could take any of those and, you know, use them as a YouTube script. But I had it set in my mind that I wanted the order of like the things that I posted on YouTube to start with a video like this, kind of explaining like, this is where I've been, like, this is what I've been doing, this is why I left kind of thing. So it's just kind of like, I had a certain expectation in my head, like, you have to make that video first. And then that made it hard to even like start this video. Like the past few days, like, you know, I have been trying to like make a script for it, and you know, I wasn't in the mood to like write a script, but I was like, no, you have to write a script because you put it in your planner. You've been putting it off for way too long. And like it doesn't, I was just kind of like disregarding like whether or not I actually wanted to work on this now. And then, you know, today I sat back down to work on it, and I was like, you know what, rather than trying to make this like perfectly like outlined and like making sure I say every single thing that I want to say, we're just gonna write about what we're feeling. So then I started like typing stuff up, and it was like, hey, actually, you're approaching this in an unhealthy way. I realized that I was actually like, the way that I was trying to approach this video turned out to be the way that I used to approach videos that was unhealthy for me. Like, I started doing YouTube videos because, I don't know, I was just like, oh, I'm just starting my art career. Like, it was literally the month after I went like full-time with art, and I was just like, people make YouTube videos, right? I'm gonna try to make a YouTube video. And I just did like a sketchbook tour or something. And, you know, like younger me would have never done that because I was just like so shy. And it was like, whoa, you actually made a YouTube video and you put your face on the camera and you talk to people. That's crazy. But yeah, like I started doing YouTube videos because I wanted them to be fun. And then I made the mistake of connecting my YouTube videos to like Patreon rewards, where I had to make 2 videos a month. And it was like, not anybody else telling me I had to, but myself. But when I did that, you know, there were times that I wanted to focus on other things, like just working on my art and not actually like creating videos, because creating videos takes a lot. Like writing the script, like planning everything, actually recording. The actual recording part for me was really difficult, you know. Then like the editing, like, oh my gosh, I used to really like editing, but it's like I hate editing now. It's so tedious. It's not my favorite. But it's like I had all those things to do, like for video stuff. And then it's like on top of that, I had like all the other like Patreon awards. I had like freelance stuff. Like I was making videos for 21 Draw. I started like streaming with Adobe and Behance. I was like working on book projects and like other freelance stuff. And then I had like a print and sticker club with Patreon, doing like my Etsy shop stuff, and also like posting to Instagram like consistently. It was just like, it was way too much to do all at once. And the video part like was really hard for me because, you know, it started out as something like that I wanted to do, and then it kind of turned into like something that I had to do, and like it took a lot out of me as somebody who like was very shy, and I had to like kind of get myself to almost like perform, or like, you know, even if I was like, you know, not happy at the time, or if I was like frustrated with myself, I had to like, you know, put on a face, and it's like, I'm gonna make a video today, because I didn't give myself any other option. And it's like I was doing the same thing with trying to make this video, because it's like I'm the one who is making my schedule, but it doesn't, like, sometimes it doesn't feel like it's me making the schedule. It feels like it's somebody else, and then I have to adhere to it. But it's like I was ignoring like what kind of creativity I had for that day. Because like sometimes I would rather be writing like a script, or I would rather be painting, or I would rather be sketching, or I don't know, maybe I need to like not create, but like take in inspiration that day. So it's like, that's kind of what I was doing before. I was like disregarding like how I felt. I wasn't allowing myself to take breaks. I was overworking myself like way too much, and all the video stuff just kind of like made it worse because it was such a huge commitment for me. I started to really not like doing it. It became like really overwhelming, and then every time I would get on camera, I would be super frustrated with myself when I couldn't like get the words out that I wanted to say, or I couldn't like read the script, or like tripped over my words or whatever. So it was just kind of like, I don't know, a bad time. It was a really bad time. But it was only because I made it a bad time. Not being aware of things, I think, was a really important factor. Like, you know, I wasn't like aware that I really was like making myself feel like this. Like, I knew I felt bad, but then I wasn't like taking a step back to like question, like, do I have to do this? Like, the videos, you know, they were connected to Patreon because I'm connected them to Patreon. You know, I told myself I have to make 2 YouTube videos a month, and then it was just like on top of like that, on top of everything else, was like, actually I can't do this. I need to like bring it back down to 1. So I did 1 a month for a little bit. And, you know, like if I was just making YouTube videos, that would have been more than fine. Like I could have made more, but on top of all those other things that I said I was doing, like it was too much. So a lot of these things, I just kind of started cutting them out. Like one by one, they were like dropping. Like I stopped streaming. I stopped making videos for like YouTube. Like I continued making videos for Patreon, but they were like, you know, just for Patreon, which it's like, that didn't actually make any sense, because if I wanted to stop making videos, then why did I keep making videos, but I just didn't make them public? I guess the way I made them was like kind of more casually talking like this, and I didn't have to like edit a whole bunch. But still, it's like if I didn't want to make videos, I should have just stopped. I think I was just really afraid to like disappoint people, honestly. Yeah, it's like I stopped doing that, stopped doing print and sticker club. Like I kind of like stopped doing like as much freelance stuff. And then, you know, I was doing a whole lot in like 2020 and like 2021, and then they started dropping off like as 2021 like went on. I was like, I actually can't take this anymore. I'm like struggling so much. But it's like I was burning myself out. That's exactly what was happening. Like right before my eyes. I knew I was feeling bad, but I wasn't allowing myself to like do anything about it, really. Like, I don't know, I was like cutting things out, but that actually wasn't helping, because I still felt just as overwhelmed as I did whenever like I had more stuff that I was doing. Eventually I just kind of like quit everything in October of 2021, I stopped posting on social media. I paused my Patreon, and I actually stopped drawing for a few months. So it was like almost 4 months that I stopped drawing, and I took 6 months off of Patreon. So I just like, I didn't do any like art related stuff during that time. And it's like, how did you do that? Like, financially, I worked too much in 2021, so I could afford to take time off, but I had to take time off because I worked too much. So it was just kind of like, was it worth it? Probably not. But that's how it went. So, but really, like, during that like break, like I still like, I felt so bad. Like I felt like incredibly lost. Like I didn't know what I was doing anymore. Like I felt like even when I was doing all that stuff before, like I had like too many things on my plate, like I never felt like I was doing enough. So it was just like, why though? Like, and then I was like not doing anything art related, and like I still felt bad, and it didn't feel like I could actually like fully take a break because my mind was still like in that same like bad place where it just like didn't feel like I knew what I was doing anymore, and like I felt really lost. And like what had really happened was I kind of like damaged my relationship with like art, because like all the, I've been mostly talking about like YouTube and like why I stopped making videos and stuff, but like during this time I also like I stopped making art that was not for something else. Like I didn't take a lot of time to like sketch. I like that was one of my favorite things to do, was like to sketch in my sketchbook. And like gradually over the course of like a couple years I like pretty much stopped doing it altogether unless it was like going to be used for something else. And I know I would get like really frustrated and like incredibly critical about like my my artwork. It's like everything I made, I was like, I don't like this. Like the best thing that I could say about my art was like, it's fine, like whatever. It's just not a good place to be in. And I don't know, it's like I didn't like appreciate the process and just kind of like sit back and enjoy making art, because like I was just looking to like, oh, I need to check this off the list, like I gotta get it done, like focusing on like production over like the like process kind of part of it. So it's like I took that time off, and I kind of found that taking time off itself wasn't actually like helping. Like I started my break in October, and then it was like at the end of January of 2022 I was like, you know what, like I think it's time to like do art again. Like in the meantime, I was trying to like do other things again, and kind of get back into like old hobbies. Like I started to try to like play guitar again a little bit, and then tried to like, what else did I do? Oh, I played like a bunch of like random like single player video games, because I don't know, I kind of like cut out a lot of my hobbies as well, saying like, oh, well, I don't have time for that. Like we have to do all these other things. Not healthy at all. But yeah, so it's like that was good for me, but like I didn't feel like I was actually feeling better. I didn't actually start feeling better until I started drawing again, which is weird because it's like, well, didn't you get burnt out because you were like doing too much like drawing and like video making and all this other stuff? And it's like, yeah, and it was nice to have some time away from it, but it's like it's something that I really love, but I had like forgotten that I actually loved it. I didn't do it for myself anymore. I was doing it like it became like a job, So I didn't actually start feeling better until I kind of like started drawing in my sketchbook again. And I made a commitment to myself that the sketchbook that I had like I think 45 pages left in it or something, and I wanted to finish it in like a couple months. Even though it's like I hadn't been drawing, I was just going to let myself kind of lower the expectations. Like the drawings didn't have to look good. I could draw the same thing over and over again if I wanted to. I could just like scribble. Like the expectations were like Like I was trying to like cut those out, because I think that was like part of the problem was, I was really critical of myself and the expectations were super high for pretty much everything that I was doing. And I wasn't allowing myself to enjoy the process. So by cutting out like needing the results to look good, I could like focus on the process again. And also like instead of setting a goal to like, I need to draw this specific thing, I allowed myself to just kind of draw whatever, as long as I was like filling up some pages. So that helped a lot to like kind of release that like perfectionism behind drawing like anything. So yeah, like that really helped me like kind of get back into things again. And then also like I have like journaled so much since the start of last year, and that's like one of the reasons why I was like, oh man, I really want to make videos again, was because like I feel like I have so much to say, so much I want to talk about, because of all these like journaling things that I've done, and like reflecting on my experience and like my process and stuff with art. So yeah, like doing both of those things was helping me a lot. I was getting back into art, and I started my Patreon back up again in I think April of last year. So I was starting to feel better, but of course it was like still difficult. I don't know, like I felt like I knew how I was doing things before, and then it was like, actually those don't work for me. So I had to like kind of figure out a new way to do things. But it's hard because I kind of kept doing the same like toxic habits that I used to do. And like, I think that's what happened with this video. It was like some of those things kept coming up again, like trying to like force myself to make the video whenever or to like write the script whenever it was just like, I'm not in the mood to do that. Like, I don't want to do that, even though this is supposed to be for fun. And just because I want to do it, it was like, actually, you have to do this now. It's like, what? Like, I still do it. Like, I still do things that I used to do, but now I am better at like being more aware. Like I'm better at like catching myself doing those things. Like one of the things that helped me the most with that was like journaling, but also like I started doing creator coaching with Healthy Gamer. It's like a YouTube channel, and like they stream on Twitch and stuff. But yeah, like I started watching like those videos, and then like I was like, maybe I can like do coaching with them. And it's like the best decision I've ever made, I think. It's like it helped me so much. Like, journaling by myself was, fine, but then like once I had somebody to like talk to about these things and kind of like help me become more aware of the issues that I was having. Like one of the things that my coach pointed out was like when I described like my experiences with like burnout and whatever, I was talking about like, I would start out like wanting to do something, and then as it would kind of like get going, it became like an autopilot thing where I felt like I wasn't in control of like what I was doing anymore, or the choices that I was making. So it's like perfect example is YouTube. Started out because I wanted to make videos, and then I kind of like connected it to other things, and I like thought that I had to do it even if I didn't want to, but I wasn't aware that I had the option to stop. It's just like it happened with so many things, like so many things. I kind of went on like an autopilot, and my coach really helped me to kind of like pick out those things and like helped me find like reasons why I was doing those things. So I was like doing my coaching, and I like got back into Patreon again, and I was like drawing consistently, but something like still felt like it was missing. And I couldn't figure out what that was for a while, but then I was like doing like journaling and stuff on it, and I realized like, oh, I'm journaling, and it's like I would, I want to talk to people about this stuff, but I don't have an outlet to do that. And then it was kind of like, oh, that's what YouTube is for. So I don't know. It's like, that's why I want to make videos again. I was like, I felt like that piece was missing. Like that is important to me. Like I feel like I can't just make art and feel like fulfilled. Like I want to talk about being an artist and like what art making teaches me about myself. because I don't know, I've talked to a lot of people about like issues that I've had like in the past, and still am, you know, I'm still dealing with some of those things. They still like pop up. And, you know, everybody that I've talked to has been like, I'm really glad we talked about this. And like, just even in like things that I post on Patreon, like the blog posts, like people are really interested in this because they are also like dealing with these things. It's like going through all that like burnout stuff was like one of the hardest things that I've ever done. I don't think I've been like super clear about how I was feeling. Like I just have kind of told you like what was happening, but I was like really struggling with it. Like art has been something that I've loved for a very long time, and for me to like feel like I'm not able to do that anymore, not in like a technical sense, but like I don't feel like I love it anymore. That was just like, it was incredibly like difficult to like navigate through, because it was basically me trying to figure out like why do I not feel like, you know, I don't feel like I have a good relationship with art anymore. Like I really did turn it like toxic because I was using it instead of like appreciating it. Like it just was like more of a job than something that I loved anymore. But as hard as all of that was, all of those experiences, and like, you know, going from working too much to like feeling like I can't do anything, like I'm like so burnt out that nothing is possible, to like slowly starting to do stuff again. And now I feel like I am so much more aware of like how I'm feeling. I'm able to like catch things before they kind of like turn into the autopilot, like bad kind of stuff. As hard as that was, I am grateful in a way, because it has taught me like so much about myself, like as an artist and like as a person. And I feel like I've grown a lot because of it. And I was at the point where I felt like I would never get over it, like I would never like move past it. And even last year, after I like came back and started doing stuff again, I was still like, I don't know if this is actually gonna like feel okay again. And I can say that now I feel so much better after a long time. Like I finally feel like I can approach a painting and not feel like I suck. And I don't know, it's not like I have figured everything out, and sometimes I still do feel like bad, but I'm so much better at like catching myself before I like go down like a thought spiral where it's just like, you know, it leads to me being on autopilot again. I don't really do that as much, but yeah, I mean, it's like I don't have everything figured out, but it's like I can actually say that I feel better, which is like, whoa. If you would have told me that like a year ago, 2 years ago, I would not have believed it. It's like Taylor Swift says, losing things doesn't mean losing. A lot of the time we lose things and we gain things too. It's like, oh, I feel that so much. Just with this whole experience, you know, it didn't work out exactly the way that I wanted it to, but it worked out better than I couldn't have imagined that like I would have gained this like knowledge that maybe could be something that I could talk about with other people. I want to make videos again because I want to talk about these things that I've learned about, and I know a lot of other artists feel things like this, and if I could say something in a video that maybe could help somebody, like just one person, I think it's absolutely worth sharing. And I want to help other artists to not like feel so alone in their struggles. Like I don't want to try to like put too much pressure on myself like I did with this video. I mean, I think it turned out okay, maybe. I hope so. But yeah, I really want my YouTube channel to become a place where I can just kind of talk about like what I'm working on, like what I'm experiencing, what I'm like struggling with, and generally talk about what I've learned about myself through art, like through making art, just like generally reflecting on like life as an artist. I don't really know like what the videos will look like, but we're gonna find out, I guess. But yeah, first of all, I want to thank you for watching this video. And like coming back to say hello after it's been so long since I've made a video. And I really want to thank like my coach at like Healthy Gamer and Dr. K at Healthy Gamer, because you guys are amazing. I would not have been able to like work through all of this without like the team at Healthy Gamer. And also like to my patrons who have still stuck with me through the ups and the downs. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I will talk to you hopefully very soon in another video. Bye. Bye. It's not a video without some dog time, huh? You need to brush your hair, dude. Hi, Joker.